Good day, dear ones. My name is Olalere Olamilekon. Welcome to Saturday Relationship Talk with Olami. On Thursday or thereabout, I posted about today's topic, co-parenting slash Mrs. Tope Alabi Saga. I've seen people talked about it, and people are saying it from their own personal experience angle or things that have been related to them. Whereas co-parenting is a very deep issue, not even with Nigeria or African alone, globally, I mean worldwide. First, we need to understand what is co-parenting. Co-parenting is or can best be described as involvement in child slash children's upbringing, socialization, care. Let me try and rephrase that. Co-parenting is when two partners or parents involved in upbringing, socialization, and care of their child slash children. So that means before we can say we are co-parenting, three things must be involved. One, both of us must be involved in their upbringing. What is upbringing? This has to do with physical cash or material. It doesn't necessarily mean you are there physically. To put this in a proper context, possibly maybe a parent is in Nigeria, either one or the two of them, and they send their words abroad to school or things like that. Immediately they are sending money to him or her over there. They are partaking in upbringing. Do we understand? Or vice versa. Maybe they are abroad and their children are in Nigeria. So they are now sending money down to Nigeria for the upbringing of the child or children. That is upbringing. Socialization. This has to do with our physical presence. That means we are shaping the child or children's way of reasoning, things he or she likes, his or her connections, the way he or she plays, his or her movement. So we are involved in everything that has to do with the social life of that child or children. That is socialization. That one, it is a must. It has to be physical presence. You have to be there before you can say, okay, you are parenting socially. The last one is care. Now, that one too involve physical appearance, but we can still do some things under that online. Possibly I'm in the UK or US or anywhere all over the world, and I have kids in Nigeria, but we connect through phone calls. I help with assignments. He or she seeks advice from me, or if I'm with them physically, I do some care, their clothing, their bathing at tender age, anything that has to do with care. So before you can say you are parenting, I've explained co-parenting that it involves two partners, but we need to first understand parenting before you can just jump to co-parenting. Now, parenting involves upbringing, socialization, care for the child or children, as the case may be. Now, co-parenting will now means the man and the woman coming together to be involved in upbringing, socialization, and care of our words or child slash children. Now, let's get that very clear. I'm not talking about separate partners now. I'm saying the definition of co-parenting. Now, this will lead us to types of co-parenting that we have. Because when you say co-parenting in this part of the world, people just put their mind on separated partners. No, it's more than that. We have about five types of co-parenting. It is not necessarily just the separated partners. Now, I will try as much as possible to be putting Yoruba in this conversation because of I'm passing a message to a particular family. Not because they don't understand English, but at least it will carry weight. Being a Yoruba to Yoruba, I believe they will understand me better. Now, types of co-parenting. We have married and cohabitation parenting. Firstly, we understand married now, people that are still married. Yeah. Cohabitation, the meaning means people that are not married but are living together and getting involved sexually. So why we have to put married and cohabitation is okay. Cohabitation means they are not married, but since we have put married and cohabitation, that means they are actually married. In this part of the world, we can understand it as father and mother, normal family circle. But if you want to call it co-parenting, it has to be that they are actually co-parenting. This is obtainable in Western world, like the UK, the US, where the husband and wife works. They both knows what they have to put on the table monthly. So that's co-parenting. If I'm paying this because of my child, you are paying this because of our child or children, as the case may be. In this part of the world, what we can put or what we can call marital and cohabitation parenting is those are our celebrities or politicians. You know, if the husband and wife are both politicians, they tends to leave the care of the children to house help and you understand care homes and stuffs. Now, immediately they are both sharing bills. They are co-parenting. Or our celebrity, the husband is a celebrity, the wife is a celebrity. So they don't have time for kids as the case may be. So they have to share the bills. So that's co-parenting. I think we understand married and cohabitation parenting. Now the second one is called shared parenting. Now this is not something that is common here because though we do it, we in fact we have it here. Or if I explain now, you understand that we have it here. What is shared parenting? This is a case of people that are maybe they are not married, but at least they are partners. So that's why I said we don't normally do it here. But we also do it. Our own is whether you are legally married or not. So far, you guys are being seen together or you are living together, we tend to call it marriage. No, it is partners. So once you guys are partners and you are sharing responsibility, you might be staying together, you might be staying separately, but at least there is a cordial relationship in which both the man and the woman are still in good time. So once they are taking care of their kid or kids, as the case may be, it is shared parenting. They are not bounded together legally, traditionally, customary, any type of marriage. They did not join themselves together, but they are in good term with each other. So at least the man can visit, the woman can visit. Why do I need to explain um this way? Is because don't forget I've explained what is parenting to be three things: upbringing, which requires physical cash, material things. Cash, you might not be physically involved. Care and socialization. The other two requires you being physically present in the child or children's life. That is parenting. We understand that. Now, if we are I've explained marital and cohabitation parents or parenting. Now, those ones they are parents. They are surely to be involved in the three aspects of parenting. Now, shared parenting, in which they are not committed legally to each other, but at least they are still free to each other. The three aspects can still be performed, like partaking in the upbringing, socialization, what's the other one now? Care. Now, the funny thing about it is this: once we are in good terms, and the guy and the no, sorry, the father and the mother are still in good time, certainly things will happen. I could remember sometimes ago, I think it's Rihanna, that American singer, that said he doesn't want our baby daddy to visit because whenever the guy visit, they end up in the other room. We all understand. And that resonates with Yoruba adage. Once Debe is always Debe. So that's the beauty of shared parenting. At least they are in good terms. So, but they are still co-parenting. Now, the third one, which is called separated parents, which is what is common here, or what we believe is common as co-parenting here. Now, this particular one is so deep. It will form the basis of our discussion today. But let me first try and explain separated parents. People make mistakes a lot on this. They just categorize it as one. Like, oh, they are separate, they are separate. No, it is not just one. Because the reason for the separations are different. So it can never be one. And this is the major problem all over the world. I can tell you free, you can Google it. Around 2000 or 2001, I think in Italy or so, in one of the European countries, separated parents need to come together and form an association of separated parents because of this topic, co-parenting. The challenge is there. You know, the normal thing is pay what is child support. Now, if I'm paying child support, you are allowing me to be a parent on just upbringing. What about the socialization? What about the care? How am I going to bond with the child or children if it is just upbringing that you are involving me? And that's the practice all over the world. I'm not saying the woman or the man now. I'm saying generally. If the man has the custody of the child or children and the woman was being, I don't want to use forced, duty bound to pay child support, or the man, which is the normal thing that normally happens, the man is being duty bound to pay child support. What about the socialization? What about the care? Okay, you tell me at least they grant him that he can be taking them from Friday to Sunday. That's not enough. How can you be having 5 or 6 days? Me, I'm now having 2 days. It's not balanced. But anyway, we'll still get into that later. Let me continue with separated parents. I said we have different types. And this is because there are so many reasons for separation. Now, we have divorce through maybe violence in the marriage. That's one case on its own. You can't compare it with separation through, how will I put it now? Maybe a mistake. When we are in school, you get someone pregnant, you are not able to, it is still separation. You have to do co-parenting. That's another case entirely. Now, there is another case of, in quotes, RAPE. RAPE. We all know the meaning. I don't want to mention it. Now, after everything, they've settled in court, and okay, now the guy has to be involved in the parenting and stuffs. That's separation. We have several separations. There is separations through maybe cheating. Now, a man caught his wife cheating in this part of the world. Most time, man have their way when it comes to cheating, but woman don't. Now, a case of that scenario, cheating, that's a type of separation. Can you compare it to it? Now, we have also separation through one night stand. We have children from one night stand. At least the popular one that is trending now, the Cubana chief priest and the Tanzanian girl that is claiming that the baby belongs to. Now, that's a separation that needs co-parenting. So there are different types. Let me even mention one popular man. At least for those of us that are Fuji lovers, we all know Alabi'S. He's around 60 years old now. He started using Odetola, his father's name. I'm not sure it is up to 20 years. That means that man lived for 40 years without a father. That's separation. I don't want to dwell into what led to the birth of Mr. Alabi'S. I'm just trying to let us understand separated parents or co-parenting through separated parents. So you cannot just use one isolated thing or your own personal situation to analyze any co-parenting issue. You cannot, especially when it has to do with these separated parents. You cannot, because you don't know what is the cause of the separation. So how will you now say, okay, Ati Tope is right, Mr. Alabi is right, or Mr. Olaoye is right? It will be difficult without looking at it holistically. Now, the remaining two, we are not practicing it here, but I don't know where this video might reach. So we have people living in other part of the world. So that's why I'm just going to glance through the remaining two. We don't practice that here at all. But let me explain it for those that might be living outside the shores of Nigeria or Africa as a whole. Now, the fourth one is what we call elective co-parenting. Elective co-parenting. From the name, we know the meaning. Now, what does this mean? It is a case of a scenario of is the scenario of father, mother that now turn to gay or lesbian. Now they are married before, they have child or children. They now decided to turn to gay or lesbian. Certainly they will separate. Now, immediately they separate, the children or the child, as the case may be, needs co-parenting. So that's another type of co-parenting. Don't forget, they have to involve in upbringing, socialization, and care, which I've explained earlier. Now that's the number four. We don't have that here, so I won't dwell on it. Number five, it is called co-parenting by more than two adults. Now this has to do with gay and lesbian too. Let me just explain, but I won't dwell on it. As I said, what does this mean? Now a man and woman that have child or children, they now turn gay or lesbian. Now the wife now gets married to another woman, lesbian, that's two people. The husband now get married to another man, that's two. So four of them now are involved in the child or children's life, as the case may be. So that's co-parenting more than two adults, because the four of them have a lot at stake in it: upbringing, socialization, care. Even those other two, their partners that wasn't with them when they were bringing the child or the children into this world, they have to. Now this is not common yet, but I believe they are practicing it in maybe Denmark or all these Scandinavian countries. The co-parenting by more than two adults. Now we've understand the type of co-parenting that we have, but we are focusing on these separated parents as our topic, because that's the one that has to do with Mrs. Tope Alabi. More so, that's the common one among us. I've let us to understand that you cannot just generalize it, like, okay, oh, because this case is like this, so automatically it has to be like this. No, no, and don't forget I mentioned that even we have an association in the Western World, Association of Separated Partners. Do you know what they are fighting for all these years? They are fighting that co-parenting is a right, not duty. You might get confused. I will explain it. Co-parenting is by right, not duty. What is obtainable all over the world now is duty bound. They are not saying it as right. What does this mean? It is not right, and duty is not same thing. Right is entitlement. Duty is levy. Like I said, I don't want to use force, but something that you must do. That's duty. Right is something that you are bound to do or you are entitled to do. So those associations are demanding that, okay, it should be right for everybody, not duty. Not that you just tell me you must pay child support. No, what about the two aspects of parenting? Why are you denying me that? When there is no case of maybe I'm abusing stuff, maybe I'm not mentally fit to be in my child's life, why are you denying me the other two? That you're just saying I should pay, 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 pay. So paying is just duty. Let me be entitled to my child. So by right, the guy or the girl is my child. They are my children. So I should have rights over them, not duty to take care of them. And the other side of this thing is this: it is happening all over the world. In fact, Western world, they have been living in it. But we Africans, or should I say Nigeria, we are going gradually into it now. And what is that thing? Nowadays, Children are now saying they are not entitled to take care of their parents at old age. I'm sure many of us will have heard this. It is wrong. And the foundation of it is the parenting. Because we are not seeing parenting as right, rather, we are seeing it as duty. Like, it is my duty to take care of my child. It is not just your duty, it is your right. You are entitled to. So once it is my right to take care of my child or children, as the case may be, then it becomes their right to take care of me at old age. But if it is duty bound, then duty, you, it is not a must they return it. They are duty bound too. But duty is something that if you have your way, you can evade it. I've explained duty to be levy. Now, maybe levy, we all understand levy now. Like, okay, you have to pay so amount for something. Now, if I have my way, I might not pay. So that's duty. But right, you can't have your way. It is entitlement. So those are the things that those people are fighting for since maybe 2001, 2002. I couldn't pick the year precisely anymore. But that's the difference between right and duty. So we need to define that irrespective of whatever that has happened in the family, irrespective of the separation, the cause of the separation, both parents are entitled to those children. They are entitled to them. They are entitled to their upbringing. They are entitled to what's it called now? Socialization. They are entitled to care. You cannot expect me to be sending money and you are shaping my child the way I don't like. My child is lacking care, but I'm being forced to pay child support, which is just covering the upbringing. So that is wrong. But anyways, we are not here for that. I just try to open our mind to understand what is co-parenting. It is not just because I've seen people talk about it and say a good, responsible man will find a way to be sending money even if they are not together again. See, it is just 1 out of 3 sending money. 1 out of 3. So you are still not parenting. Even if the whole world agree to that, it doesn't still make it right. Like just sending money alone. Anyways, both the religious book, the Quran and the Bible, don't even really support separation. I think it's because of this. Because once we separated, things will, most times things go hurry. Now, focusing on the separation has to relate to Auntie Tope Alabi'S saga. Now, what is the cause of their separation? We don't know. Let's call it spade a spade. None of them have spoken about it. I mean, Auntie Tope, Mr. Soji, Mr. Laoye. But there are informations that are available to us that we can use to deduce things. Now, according to the report, Auntie Tope married Mr. Laoye. They gave birth to Ayomikun and elaborate naming. Now, during that period, Mr. Soji Alabi is in the picture as Auntie Tope's manager or producer. So most of the times, the 3 of them are together during the good old days of Auntie Tope and Mr. Laoye. Moving on from there, like I said, we don't know what caused the separation. They separated. But within a year of separation, Mr. Soji and what's it called? Mr. and Auntie Tope got married within a year of separation. Let's call a spade a spade. Mr. Laoye, what will be his mindset during that period? Even towards Ayomikun. 90-something% chance he will be doubting the baby. Does this mean these people have been doing things behind me? It is natural. He will have to take years to get over that. Because to him, it will feel like betrayal. That's from Mr. Laoye's perspective. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just treating the topic. Now, from Auntie Tope's angle. We don't know her reasons for the separation. We don't know her reason for choosing Mr. Soji as the next man. At least she has been vindicated. They've married for over 20 years. And I wish them forever in love. But during the separation, no, after the separation and getting married to Mr. Soji Alabi, what do you think will be going through Auntie Tope's mind at that point? Will she want any bond between Ayomikun and her dad? If you are in Auntie Tope's shoe, what will be your decision? Ask yourself. Just within a year. I'm not talking of what caused the separation. You know it matters. But since we don't have it, we don't need to dwell on that. But let's just stay on the face value. If you are if you are in Auntie Tope's shoe, what will be your decision at that point? Will you want any bond between Ayomiko and her dad, Daddy Mr. Laoye? Now, from Mr. Soji Alabi's perspective or angle, if you are Mr. Soji Alabi, you are in the family from beginning. Something happened. You fell in love with each other. I don't want to join anything together. Maybe they are dating before the separation or not. That's none of my business here. Now, you've married Auntie Tope. You've accepted Ayomekun as your child. Now, what position will you take if you are in his shoe? Certainly, you don't need to color it. You want a total blackout of Mr. Laoye. Due to guilty conscience, you are a human being. At that point, he might be saying, okay, maybe he suffered or I don't want to guess. But still, as a human being, he will try and block Mr. Laoye out. It is natural. At least for their own home to have peace, to be solidified. So, that's the foundation of that family. A situation whereby the dad must be blacked out. A situation whereby the dad himself has every right to doubt Ayomekun's this thing from beginning. Time heals. Time after, things heal a bit. At least they all come like, okay, what's the way forward? Now, from the information available to us on social media, Daddy Laoye reach out to Auntie Tope to ask why Ayomekun is now bearing Alabi instead of Laoye. Auntie Tope's response, according to what we are having on social media, is that because of their documentations, whenever they want to travel, so there is this challenge of why having two names. Most of us that have a cause to travel in this kind of situation knows truly that can be hectic. So they say she claimed that she needs to align Ayomekun's name with Alabi so it can be on one family package, understandably. Now, moving fast forward to today, in which everyone is saying Mr. Lau is irresponsible, he's not taking care. You know, I'm not talking whether he's taking care or not because I wasn't there. But I'm just saying, can we please look at it holistically? Can we understand co-parenting, which is my own main topic? I'm just using that to explain. I'm using their own saga to explain. Now, even if that man is sending money, which is the main point I'm pushing out, even if that man, even though I'm not saying he's sending, even if he's sending money, he's just parenting on one aspect out of three. The remaining two, socialization, care, is not available. So things bound to happen this way. And do you know one funny thing about this thing? The remaining two, socialization and care, is far, 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 far more important than that upbringing, which has to do with money alone. But people don't really know. Let me just make it easy for you to understand. Now, let's assume Mr. Laoye is a Muslim or a Christian. Mr. Soji Alabi'S of opposite religion, a Muslim or a Christian, that child, will he be a Muslim or a Christian? Can you see the work of socialization? So it is not just about he's irresponsible, he's not sending money, or you out there that you are getting this video, that you are just basing your own I'm a responsible father in this in quote in co-parenting, separation parents, that I'm still sending money, I'm keeping receipt. My dear, you are deceiving yourself. You are just parenting on one part. The remaining two integral part of co-parenting, you are not available. That's just the bitter truth. People might not want to listen to this, or they might not like it, but truth remains the truth. That important too, that important too, socialization and care, is vital, is key to parenting. So whenever you are not available for that too, then my dear, no matter the amount you are sending, this can still happen to you. Because another man, another family is shaping that child or children's mentality, socialization, care. So you are still unavailable parent, you are still unavailable father or mother, as the case may be. And the example are just abounds. Recently we talk about the Oba kí ni orúkọ wọn Jensen, what's the name? Oba Oniba and the child Saga. We all remember that. Can you see what happened? Because the man and the new wife shaped that girl. So they defeat the mother, the separated mother. It's we all want push it under maybe she's not responsible or he's not responsible. It beyond that. I don't want to dwell much on this because I'm focusing on my own topic. I just bring Tope's Saga in to explain. So if you want to talk about this, please keep your emotions aside. Keep your personal experience aside. Keep things you've heard or known aside. Look at it holistically. Can this be done differently? Can things be done differently? Or someone in this shoe, or someone getting into this shoe, what advice should we be giving them? Now let's move on. Why is it difficult to co-parent? Which is the major thing that we need to look into. See, we don't need to deceive ourselves. We can't stop co-parenting or separation. It is part of human life. But why is it difficult to co-parent? If we can understand this question, this part of this discussion, then I think we will find a lasting solution to co-parenting or parenting through separated parents. First thing first, don't forget, I said parenting should be right and not duty. Like I'm entitled to take care of my words, my child or children, as the case may be. Not that I'm duty bound. For both sides, or both man and woman, it should be. Now, why is it difficult to co-parent? It can be observed, or it has been observed, that those with upper hands in terms of financial might or connection makes it difficult for the other partner. Do we understand this? A man and a woman that are separated, if the man has the upper hand financially and what's it called now, connection wise, they always make it difficult for the other partners. Can we please work on ourselves? Can we stop this, please? You have right. He or she has right too. But once you have the money, or you know the court, you know the lawyers, you have the power, you will deny the other partner their entitlement, their right. And after everything, people will now judge based on face value alone and say, he's not available. Where are you when I was going primary school? My dear, even if I want to, there is no way. I've been blocked out. I've been made unavailable to you. So that's the number one problem, the first problem. Number two, this one is somehow funny. Women natural connection with children. They use it as weapon against the other partner. This is another challenge a major challenge of co-parenting. Naturally, women has upper hand over women when it comes to bond with their children. Naturally, it is God given. Now, whenever the women have upper hand in a separated situation, they tend to turn it as tool to fight the husband, forgetting that the husband, or let me say ex-husband, forgetting that the ex-husband too has right to that child. I've seen a case whereby child were telling the father, why are you disturbing my mommy, leave my mommy alone, over phone. The man cried for hours, for crying out loud. And this is the man that is paying on a monthly basis. He's I'm sure of that. He makes sure he send the money. He pay for their weekends takeouts. He did all those things. Still, the child called the father with the mother phone and say, uh, "Daddy, leave my mommy alone. Why are you disturbing my daddy? My mommy, you are disturbing her." I'm not saying this to support the man. The situation can switch. It can happen to man too, a man taking care, and now the children, at least we see the Oniba Eko now, we can see the situation between the daughter and the mother. So can we please work on that? Even if you have the power, can we please reduce, most especially the mothers? Please, I'm begging. Don't forget, these people, they are entitled to that child or children. So stop using the kids, your children, as a weapon to fight back. I will still tell you the danger of all this, but I need to highlight what is making co-parenting difficult. Now, the third one. Now, this is another very good point here. The family court or tribunal or welfare, whatever we call it all over the world, that we used to go to resolve this issue. Now, they are still using it as a duty thing instead of a right thing. What does this mean? Most times, the one with upper hand, this doesn't necessarily mean material things. Maybe now, the husband or the guy has been diagnosed with substances. You understand? He's taking alcohol and other stuffs. Now, the court has ruled that he should just be sending money to the children. Now, they will even put a boundary in between. Like, you must not be seen close to the vicinity. Now, what about the remaining two part of parenting? You are denying them. Do we understand? Now, I'm not saying they should allow partners with questionable characters or situation, but at least can we please be reviewing on a timely basis for the sake of their own rights to their children? That's another challenges of co-parenting. A major challenge. Now, another one. Hatred arising from the cause of separation. I've talked about that a bit during separation, that okay, a case of RAPE, a case of my wife cheats and we separated. You understand? Now let me put another one here. I think this one happened in South Africa, if I'm not making mistake, whereby the woman, because she wants to get involved with another man, she now coerced the daughter, maybe 8 or 10 years old, to lie against the man, that the man RAPE her, that the man RAPE his own daughter. Now the court ruled and sentenced the man to 10 years in prison. After serving 10 years, the child in question is around 18 or 20. She now confessed and apologized that this is what really happened. My mother coerced me into lying against you. I'm sorry, Dad. Now, that kind of father, he has wasted years. Certainly, something will have happened to his career. A lot of things. People will start looking at him somehow. A lot of things. Now, that kind of man, do you think he will still want to be committed to that daughter? So that's another challenge to co-parenting. A major challenge to co-parenting. So in whole and others, let me just, because I don't want this video to be too long. In all these scenarios I have painted that are causing challenges to parenting, in all, including, let me quickly add this before I forgotten, the Davido Sophia Momodu scenario. Now, in the media, we heard that Davido sued Sophia for custody of which Davido lose. Davido is rich. He has a rich family. But because Sophia Momodu too, they are rich. And I can understand Davido. Because even if I'm paying, it is not because just the money. Davido can afford the money. But the problem is you are just taking money. What about the social, the care of what's the daughter's name? Imade. But still, I'm sure they lose or they settle. Let me say they lose. They settle out of court because I wasn't there and the media did not inform of what comes out of the charge. Now, in all that I've talked about, things that are making co-parenting to be difficult, what are the solution? The first major solution, and this I'm pleading. Let me say again, I'm pleading. The first major solution is for those that are left behind, for those that are denied the opportunity to be part of parenting. I'm not saying financially alone, I'm not saying just upbringing. I'm talking of the other two, which are integral. Please and please, as a man or as a woman, you need to apply wisdom and patience. Most times it has been proven over time that the other partners too got angry and they tend to neglect what they are doing. Even the upbringing part, they now look like, no, what's the essence? I don't have access to my daughter, I don't have access to my son. Why will I be sending money? Which now make things worse. Do we understand? Please, can you apply wisdom and patience, please? I know you are hurting, but hurting yourself won't solve it. So be calm. Even if that is the only thing you are doing presently, the upbringing part, through wisdom and patience, it can improve to, okay, I'll be having them for the weekends, I'll be having them for parties, I'll be having them for holidays. Gradually, you are getting back into their social and care life. So please, that's the general solution, that's the general template. Wisdom and patience. After that, it now the next thing is now solution as peculiar to each cases. Like I started with in this video, you can't base your solution on one thing, your personal experience, your emotions. No, you have to understand the situation before you can involve in it, before you can advise. Like the Auntie case now, the solution to it is Auntie herself. Presently, I don't think anything can change Ayomikun's mind anymore to love Mr. Laoye than Mr. Alabi. But still, Auntie you are in position to let Ayomikun realize that Yoruba will say, okay, Ogun lo logun, Baba Omo lo lomo. Your father remains your father. I'm not saying she should neglect Mr. Soji Alabi, no. But let her respect that. And what is the reason for this? I have talked about it a bit earlier. The entitlement thing. Now, if Ayomikun is having this kind of mindset towards Mr. Laoye, God forbid, imagine tomorrow Mr. Laoye is in need of Ayomikun's help. Will she render it? The answer is no. And Auntie Tope, do you know the danger? And not just Auntie Tope, everyone listening to this, do you know the danger in this thing? Though I will dwell on the danger more when I'm talking about single mother syndrome. That's not the topic for the day. The problem there is that you have given Ayomikun or any girl or even a girl in their situation what is called subconscious knowledge. And what is that knowledge? They tend to see marriage as, if the wahala is too much, if the issue is too much, if the challenges is too much for me, my first option is to walk away. After all, my mother walked away from her first marriage and see her today. They see you, the parents, Auntie Tokes and others, as a winner. And whereas this is not a situation of winning or losing for the parents, though they are thanking God for how things shaped out. But they, the children, they've learned that subconsciously that okay, my first option is to walk away. That is the major danger in this co-parenting thing. It affects the mental health of the children involved. It affects them, their mental health. At least I know of a marriage where the wife, or should I say ex-wife now, is telling me that her mom have grace of 26 years in marriage before she divorced her own dad. That her own is just 6 years grace and she's fine with that. Can you connect the two together? So she see that thing that her mom did as, well, it is norm. I can do it too. If my mom survive, I can survive. I'm not saying women should remain in abusive marriage. Oh, I said I'm not talking about social media syndrome today. I'm just trying to let us realize the end point of everything. It's shape how, whether guy or girls. This has nothing to do with gender. As a male child in this kind of situation, he will not value marriage that much. I'm not saying they will not respect their partner, but immediately there are challenges that can be resolved. Their first option always is, let me move on, let me go and get another person. After all, my mother survived, my father survived. So please, Auntie Tope and everyone in this shoe, try and work on that aspect as the general thing. Become, try and bond them. Not like forcing it on her, but let her realize how important, or that she's entitled to that father, just as the father is entitled to her. Now, the other solutions to co-parenting, and I will just tell us about two or three. I don't know your own situation now, you watching this video, but I'm sure it will work for you. As a separated father or mother, that they are denying access due to the things that I listed as challenges or difficult to co-parenting, what are the things that you can do apart from the wisdom and patience thing? Number one, separation. Physical separation should not stop you from taking part in your child or children's life meaningfully. What does this mean? Even if you are denied, even if you are being pushed back, please, you dare not stop from trying to take part in that child or children's life meaningfully. Financially, do you understand? Which is the most important thing, the upbringing. Calm yourself. Do the bits you can do, which supports those that normally send money to their um, separated children. Please, you have to keep it up. It is necessary. You need it. That's number one. Number two, that you need to have, or you must be doing, you must take an interest in whatever that interests those children or child, as the case may be. If you notice or you observe that, oh, your daughter or your son love to sing, one of your best way to enter through the back door, you must pick interest in music or sports. What will this do for you? The child will naturally build something with you. He or she will connect with you. At least we'll be having conversation over that. You talk about, oh, have you trained? When are you going for your musical class? When are you going for jingles? Do you understand? Try and Have interest in what interests that child. That's two. Number three, now, communication. You have to form a routine communication with that child. I put communication at the third part. There is no how you are being responsible little by little or meaningfully in your child's life. There is every chance that you have the chance of having their contact. Now, you have the contact. You interest in what interests that child: sports, music, social life, anything. You show interest in it. There is no how you will not be talking. Now we now go to communication. Form an habit. Like, okay, he or she trains every weekend. Then let me be the first to call my daughter or my son. Hey, are you going for your training? Then maybe after the training later in the day, oh, how's the training today? Fine, this thing. Form communication with them. Then apart from the communication on the thing that interests, pick maybe once in a month. It will just be a father daughter or mother daughter or mother son or father son conversation, prayer, or word of advice, motivational speech. You are destined to be great. Look up. You are going to be better. All those words, make it a routine thing on a monthly basis. I believe if you are using these three methods, things will change between you and your son or daughter, as the case may be. So that should be all for today. Thanks for joining today's Saturday relationship talk with Olami. Please kindly help us to love, like, comment, and share. You don't know who need this video. You might not be needing it, but please, by sharing, others will benefit from it. And don't forget, if you want us to talk about anything, you can inbox us. Send it to us. We'll talk on it. We'll discuss. No one is the senate of knowledge. We are all learning. Thanks and have a lovely weekend.